music anymore? What happened to the music? I can't hear you.
Music's playing.
What are the? All right, we're live.
We're not going to yell at the production.
We're not yelling at them at all.
Okay,
We're not yelling at them. But for tomorrow, I can't hear the music in my headphones. Telling me just to go ahead and stop being an idiot. All right, it is Pick Central. I am Brandon Walker. Welcome back. We're back in the building. I'm back in the building. Actually, I got Jeff D. Lowe to my left. I got Owen to my right. Apparently, Jeff D. Lowe was part of opening this studio a couple days ago with Nick Central, which is a different show, a far different show. But Pick Central is back in the building, and actually, the logo. Have they updated the logo? The logo was Nick, KB, and you. Is that the logo we used today? Okay. All right. So I'm back from Chicago, and we're talking gambling. We're talking everything. We're talking March Madness, and Jeff D. Lowe is here. Oh, and how are you, first of all? That's what I want to know.
I'm good. How are you?
Average. Are you happy with the choices you've made today?
I am.
How about you, Jeff?
Choices like in terms of this show or just in general?
I don't know if you've made any life decisions today or
No.
if it's just been your day-to-day.
I started writing trivia for tonight. Otherwise, everything else is
Do you
good.
need me to write trivia for tonight?
Actually, no.
I've been thinking about writing more. I need to write more trivia. It gets my brain going.
For other teams, if other
I just
matches,
never
I would
have.
like
I
that.
never have. It's hard to have time. You don't have time either. But it's hard to have time to write trivia. I should have written trivia on the plane yesterday.
People got mad at me because today I said we will not be moving to 3 matches a week, and I said I just can't do it.
It's not possible.
It's just it's less about like help and stuff and more about I just got worried when we hit the college basketball match that I thought the quality of the week was poor because I was thinking about too many questions, and I know that's a ridiculous reason.
I didn't think the quality of that week last week
No,
was
I don't
poor.
think it was, but my concern will always be, like, I always figured that out with radio because we did so many radio questions. At the end of the week, the quality was just bad. Maybe one day it'll be 3 week, but right now, like, I'd rather them be 2 very solid shows than like 3 where 1 is good and 2 are just like eh.
But I mean, the college basketball one was one of the. I assume it's one of the highest viewed shows you've had yet.
It is.
Is it the highest?
It is.
He's not crazy about that.
I'm not amped that's what people say is the best one, but because it was very gimmicky. But that's okay. I'm not complaining.
I mean,
about
let's be
views.
honest. It had Big Cat on it, which that's always going to bump it up because he's got 2 million followers, and it had Rico crying on it, which it's a show on Barstool, so it's always going to have that naturally. And it had an outsider.
Yeah.
Dragging his nuts all across Rico's face.
He did, yeah.
And me dragging
And
my
Rico
nuts.
standing up to him. Rico did stand up to him.
He did. He kept up with the gimmick, and he kept. Rico didn't cower. He didn't back down.
Mm-hmm.
He just got destroyed.
Yeah.
So which is worse?
You were great too.
I know.
It needs to be noted. You were.
That's
very
one
good.
of the. That's one. Listen, I'm a humble guy. Hello, Owen. I'm a humble guy. I don't need a lot of props, but I need people to recognize that I was the most knowledgeable college basketball person on that show.
You absolutely were. You corrected Doug Gottlieb a couple times.
I did. So I got the chat up right now. I'm back in the building. I was in Chicago. We did more on Madness this weekend in Chicago.
Congrats.
We streamed 4 straight days. It sucks to. There's no complaining about it because it's not really working for a living.
Correct. It's not.
It's not, but it is tiring. It is draining.
Yeah, I think you can say that it's not working. It also sucks the life out of you.
It sucks the life out of you. I feel like I was born in that room in Chicago. And I wasn't there yesterday. I was flying back. I flew back yesterday so I could get here. Everybody else is in transit right now. Marty Mush is flying. Big Ev's flying. I think Big Cat and Roan will actually be here for the Yak. If their plane was on time, they should be here for the Yak. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we'll have a full Yak.
That's what I think lends to. I think, and like I haven't done a lot of the long streams like that. Like I've sat in the background of some college football ones, but it's amazing. I think what the testament to why it's not really work, because if it was work, you'd be like, this sucks.
Right.
But it is afterwards, like when it's over and like you get to your hotel or like home and it feels like you got beat up. You're like, holy shit.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
a long time.
It really does. And plus so the last gambling day, what we did was the first 2 rounds were cumulative, and we had 8 teams of 2. It was me and White Sox Dave, and our main competition ended up being Big Ev and Carl and
It's PFT and Jake, right?
PFT and Jake. Yeah, PFT and Jake were a true team, but Big Ev, Carl let Big Ev do all the picks, and White Sox Dave let me do all the picks. So it was really me against Big Ev against PFT and Jake. Not to say, but anyway, so cumulative the first couple of days, and I went 4-4. Nobody went better than 4-4 the first day. Then I went 6-2 the second day. Yeah, I know, that's embarrassing. I went 6-2 the second day, and then on the third day, it all came down to it. I went 6-2 again, and we actually won it. We were hoping to have like the last game be a decider, but it was won before the last game. So it was fun. I was able to get $5,000.
Yep.
And I gave Dave
Congratulations.
$5,000.
You gave a ride to Dave for his birthday?
Not Dave Portnoy. I did not give Dave
Oh.
$5,000.
WSD.
Yes. That did get confusing a lot because I was sitting on the front row and I was getting mad. And I was like, fucking Dave. And then Portnoy looks at me and like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Sorry, that idiot back there.
There is no, like, you could say fucking White Sox.
And they're both 5'6", so it was hard to. You can't say the tall one.
I'll let you have. You can take that one in your own.
You're
lane.
not gonna take
I'm
that
not
one.
gonna comment on that one.
Okay, all right.
You can take your own lane on that.
All right. So we've got Pick Central. We got all sorts of March Madness to talk about. We got a Sweet 16 coming up. I've got the chat open right here. So if you guys want to talk, you can get it in. I see Chris in Winnipeg. I see Kyle McDougal. I see Cliff DiMartino. I see Jacob Kowal. I see TJ Hitchings. Wow. Okay.
Congrats to Rutgers on winning that game, and then their coach.
You know what?
Deciding to try and not lose in the final 5 minutes.
You know what? Watching as a Mississippi State fan, I felt like I was watching myself. Watching Rutgers get itself to the mountaintop, get itself to the precipice of glory, get into the Sweet 16, and then just completely choking it away. I felt like I was watching myself watch a game. TJ, I'm sorry it happened to you.
It's fun. They say like act like you've been there, but we literally haven't been there. So
Brandon, are you guys about to win the NIT?
Yeah, maybe we might win the NIT.
Hell yeah.
I haven't been paying attention. Have we played one game or two? Mississippi State basketball is my favorite program that we have, but it's been such shit for 10 years. I no longer have the heart for it.
What's the lamest achievement in college basketball history? And there is only one right answer to this.
UNC winning the NIT after winning the national championship.
No, but it's NIT based.
So is it Louisville being the only team to win? No, what is it?
It's Ronaldo Balkman in South Carolina winning back-to-back NIT titles.
That's correct.
Yeah,
yes.
that is the saddest.
First round
It's
pick
the
Ronaldo
lamest
Balkman,
achievement.
right?
Yeah, the Knicks.
I think mine is just as lame.
That is kind of lame. Yeah.
Wasn't he on the Final Four team too, though?
No, God, Ronaldo Balkman.
Who was the? No, you're right.
He graduated like 15 years before that.
That's true. Who was the star on South Carolina's Final Four team?
I forget his name.
It's very similar to Ronaldo Balkman. I think they both had dreadlocks.
That was the year that Duke fans got really pissy because they moved the tournament games out of North Carolina.
Yeah.
And they were playing in
poor
South Carolina,
things.
and then South Carolina played. Yeah.
Chat, tell me who the who was the? Why can't I remember his name?
I forget his name. That's out of my range of years where I know
2017 South
everything.
Carolina. They in the Garden. They beat Florida in the Elite Eight
Mm-hmm.
to go to the Final Four after Chioza hit the game winner. Who is the damn? And this is going to bother me until I get it. I can't move forward. I apologize. We're on a pick show, but I can't give you a pick until I remember the name of the guy. He was the 26th pick of the draft. I know everything about him.
That's too much to know and not.
I know everything about
What
him.
year?
I can see him. 2017 South Carolina. By the way, somebody says TJ, the producer, just got off the plane from Chicago.
Caleb
The guy is a grinder. Sindarius Thornwell, thank you very much. Sindarius Thornwell.
TJ's a good guy. I hate Rutgers football more than I hate most things in football because I think it's a pathetic team and fan base. No offense, they have like a "fuck Penn State" chant.
Wow, wait a minute. How could you say no offense at I hate them?
Because he's a fan. I don't hate TJ, but like they have this like "fuck Penn State" chant. Which who are you? What are you? Like, leave the Big Ten. But the basketball team. I was very happy. I was rooting for you, and I have no issue because they're a former Big East team.
I feel like Penn State and Rutgers have the same basketball team. Like
I don't care about Penn State basketball.
Yeah, but every now and then Penn State Rutgers gets semi-good, maybe makes the first round of the tournament, but they've never been anything, period.
I was happy and then very sad for TJ.
Penn State, Rutgers, Nebraska. I'm just thinking of teams that are just never good. Yeah. Northwestern was that way until they made that Elite Eight run a couple of years ago.
Their old coach was so funny to me. I forget his name though. God, I pissed.
Remember when people were saying the Big Ten this year was one of the best?
I do remember
I've been
that.
saying for weeks I thought they were frauds.
They were absolute frauds. I mean, they only got Michigan left.
Hey,
By the way,
I did say except for Illinois. I did think Illinois was legit, and then
Michigan got a great whistle against LSU. I thought LSU should have covered that game. Michigan got every call in that game, but we just decided at some point as a media or as a fan base or gamblers that because the Big Ten was on ESPN every single night, because they were having great matchups, we just decided that Iowa and Ohio State and Illinois, and they were all in top 10 teams, and no, they really weren't. There was nothing fluky about Illinois getting beat. They got beat from start to finish.
It was a complete outclassing and out preparation by.
Yeah.
But what was the thing people kept saying? What was the thing the Big Ten did? It was TJ. They teams couldn't win at home, or they were losing at home or losing on the road. What was like the trend? I forget.
This year,
Yeah,
I think people were better at home. I know last year, like everybody was almost undefeated at home.
There was a weird trend that people were like, it's the wacky Big Ten. Who knows? You're like, I think the Big Ten that just might mean they're bad.
They
I'm
just
like,
stink.
I just don't think the Big Ten's all that great.
And the inverse of that is the Pac-12 just beating everybody's ass.
Yeah. They're like
Yeah.
8-0 straight up against the spread.
I can't take credit for it because my heart wasn't in it. But last week on the show, I was like, this tournament feels weird. Like the Pac-12 is just sleeping out there, and they're beating up everybody just like the Big Ten was. Their teams were fighting at the top. Oregon, USC, UCLA all year. They were going back and forth just like the Big Ten, but they didn't get any credit for it. This could be the tournament where we look up and there's 5 teams in the Sweet 16.
This seems to happen quite frequently with the Pac-12, though. That is the thing. Like they'll sneak one or like there was that one year they got 2 teams in.
Yeah.
Only because Isaiah Thomas hit that shot for what? Like there's years they sneak in and then they always they have at least one Sweet 16 team.
But again, there's nothing fluky. Like Oregon State just beat the shit out of Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
Tennessee was a fraud.
Should I say it? Say it.
You talking to me?
Well, we watch games here all weekend.
Yeah.
And not to throw our good buddy Connor Knapp into this, but what did he say about Oregon State?
He said Oregon State was the worst 12 seed to ever enter the tournament.
Well, first of all, there's been some. They weren't even the worst 12 seed this year. Like
no, they weren't.
Georgetown wasn't good either.
A little bit.
I was shocked Georgetown even got a 12 seed. But I thought USC was the most eye-opening one. I thought last night was a shit pumping.
Yeah, of Kansas.
That was insane. And I don't think Kansas looked all that great against Eastern Washington, but they did end up handling. But
also
USC
depleted,
looked.
yeah.
My God.
Can you tell me about the restaurant bracket that I missed? I really hate that I missed it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh,
so much so we may do like a follow-up on that. Myself, Owen, KB, Nick, and Stephen Shea.
So I was telling you before the show, when I worked at SEC Country back in Atlanta, I was the trivia guy. I was actually the Jeffy Lowe of the company. I was the trivia guy. Every day at 5, I would gather everybody. We'd do trivia to get our brains going. But I was also the bracket guy. Every day in March, we did a sandwich bracket, a soup bracket, a restaurant bracket, a car bracket, a music bracket, an 80s movie bracket, shit like that. I wanted to do content with it, but you beat me to the punch. You got this restaurant graphic.
Yeah.
Brackets are just fun.
Brackets are fun.
They're just fun.
I'm a brackets guy.
You know what the most frustrating part about brackets is, though? Instead of just filling it out and enjoying the joke and being it's every time you put it out on Twitter, it's seeding. Why was this an 8 seed?
Yeah.
Why was this a 16
That's why I leave
seed?
it up for vote. I usually do the audience vote, and then I put it at the bottom, and then if people reply and get mad at me, I just show them the screenshot of the bottom. Like, fuck off.
You look very comfortable in that chair.
I've now sat here 3
I feel like
times.
you're hosting the show.
did a
we can switch.
I told you, Jeff, I did a bracket on my Twitter over quarantine out of boredom. A TV show bracket. Ran started with 32 and then Sopranos 1, which I've never seen.
That's tough when the one you haven't seen. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like if
the
the
only show I had
restaurant bracket's like a thing I've never been to. Luckily, the restaurant bracket's usually just Taco Bell wins.
Surprised you're not doing like movie bracket. Have you ever? I'm sure you've
We've
done.
done
before.
enough. Yeah.
Somebody says have you ever seen Over the Top? Stallone arm wrestling movie. From the 80s?
But I just right through my head.
Somebody said I look like the ref in Over the Top.
We had
It's a 1988 Sylvester Stallone movie about arm wrestling. That's a very niche.
so many movies blend in my head. Eraser was on TV the other morning when I came back here for the second round, and I turned to someone. I was like, man, this looks like Eraser. And then,
This is Eraser.
I don't remember anything.
I'm interviewing a wrestler today, and he tweeted out something yesterday that Demolition Man is one of the top movies of all time, no questions asked. And I'm going to ask him about it because Demolition Man, Judge Dredd, to me, the same movie. Both Stallone, both early 90s.
Dread separates though, man.
You know what's underrated for Stallone in early 90s? Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Okay.
I like Cliffhanger.
I think a lot of Stallone things have now become underrated, even if they were maybe campy and made fun of, solely because of the resurgence of Creed and Rocky. I think there was a bit of a Stallone assance.
I bought a John Grisham book, his latest book, for the plane ride yesterday in the airport. Way overpriced. Paid $30 for this book. Anyway, paid $30. A Time for Mercy. I'm about 70 pages in, so I'm gonna read it on the plane. But I get there on the plane, and one of the free movies on the United little thing there, Creed, and I will never not watch Creed.
Yeah, Creed.
I will never not watch Creed. I watched Creed, and I'm sitting there. We're about to land right as he enters the last fight, and I'm hoping, please taxi for a while so I can get to the. And it ended right before the last round where he gives him the speech on the stool.
Yeah.
So now it's just hanging out there in my mind. I'm not completed. I got to watch the speech on the stool, and then he stands up, and the music turns into the Rocky music. Oh man, Creed's so good.
It's amazing. The Philadelphia, the motorbike scene. And,
Jeff, you want to take a guess what my favorite boxing movie is?
Is it the one with Miles Teller?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
What's
Vinny
it called?
Paz?
What's it
Bleed
called
for
again?
this.
Bleed for this, yeah.
It's from like Pawtucket.
It's not just it's a stupid fucking movie.
It's so fucking good.
You know what's a very underrated boxing movie is The Great White Hype. I've told you about this before.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
I don't believe I have. Actually,
You need to watch
You
The
may
Great
have
White
got me
Hype.
on that one.
It's got Samuel L.
Again,
Jackson.
I'm really bad at this. Like, have you seen this one? It all blends. into
Samuel
my
L.
head.
Jackson is as the Don King type character. It's unbelievable. Great White Hype. It's got Jamie Foxx in it. It's got everybody who was somebody in the 90s.
I'm so bad at this.
Brandon, you got to watch Bleed for this.
I don't want to watch
Bleed for this is yeah.
Was that a PMS movie?
He's like paralyzed and he's just still fucking training.
Really?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
See, I got this one Michigan fan in here being a whiny little bitch. Ben Rosenbaum. What a joke. Michigan got the calls. Yeah, Michigan got the calls.
I think Michigan's good though.
Michigan is
Michigan
good.
had 'em
Michigan's
somewhere.
very good. But I think they were in more trouble yesterday than the refs allowed them to be.
I thought only Michigan and Illinois were legit, and it turns out
Illinois just got hammered from start
true.
to finish.
God, Loyola's really good.
I knew. Something told me. I lost 3 Final Four teams in my bracket.
That was one of those games early on though. Like we have one of our social guys here, Chuck, is a diehard. Played baseball in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
He watched here. There was a moment early on when they went up like 8,
Yeah.
and it just looked like they were out executing them. And you're like, oh, this is over.
Yeah.
They're gonna get their ass kicked.
Skip Sven says, rumor has it McConaughey is coming back to do A Time for Mercy. Great timing on the book purchase, B-Walk.
Yes.
That's the problem with reading this. It's a continuation of A Time to Kill, or it's a sequel to A Time
yes,
to Kill.
that was
can't-
news we did that just came out.
But
yeah.
I cannot read the book. Like I'm picturing, when I'm reading about Jake Brigance, I'm picturing McConaughey. When I'm picturing the sheriff, it's Charles S. Dutton, Samuel L. Jackson, all those guys.
The last McConaughey book adaptation was not very good. So,
What was it?
it was The Dark Tower. It's a really bad movie.
I don't know what that is.
He gave up doing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 for that. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Was he going to be the Kurt Russell
Yeah,
character?
he was going to be Ego.
That would've been a
the
lot
Living
better.
Planet, which is what Bob Huggins looked like. He looked like Ego, the Living Planet.
He did look like
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
He looked exactly like that. All right, so Jeff's here because
We gonna do this?
we're not going to do it right now. We should wait. You want to do it right now?
Yeah, I'm like amped.
Let's do our picks and end with that, the finale.
I'm like amped to do the.
If you want to do it, well, first of all, let's talk.
It's your show though, so yeah, do whatever.
Let's talk some more. Oh yeah, I can mute you on this show.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I can
I'm
get a little,
here for
I
revenge.
get a little feedback. All right.
As if I've muted you before.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah.
One time.
Vernon Wells, baby. I can't even remember how to do it. Kevin Mack says these college refs love calling charges. It's such a joke. I think that is the biggest thing plaguing college basketball is the refs' absolute thirst to call and reward any flop.
Mm-hmm.
And they introduced the flopping technical or the flopping warning, but they don't do it enough. And refs will get fooled by a flop in a heartbeat. It ruins bad because that's not defense. Running alongside somebody and throwing yourself into the ground is not defense, and it's gotten rid of actual defense, and it results in lower scoring games. It results in ugliness. It results in foul trouble. It just sucks. It stinks. Nobody wants to see a charge fest. NCAA's got to get a hold of this.
I was pleasantly surprised. I forget which, but there were a couple games with last second layups that they just let them play, which I was.
I could not believe they didn't call a foul on Texas Tech
Texas
last
Tech,
drive against
Arkansas?
Mhm.
I had
That's
it
what
on
I'm
mute.
talking about,
Yeah, I had it on mute. I was recording, and the fact that they kept playing, I was like, "Holy shit!" I just assumed there had been a whistle.
Yeah, and
good for them.
I think
Yeah.
basketball is
kudos.
a more exciting game if it's played at the rim or above the
Mm-hmm.
rim, where defense is considered block shots and it's all that. When you take it below the rim and you make defense about falling out and taking charges, that defeats the whole. It's ugly.
Even just a couple years ago, whenever you would see a player kind of like off to the side when you'd get called for a charge, you'd be like, "Oh, that's always going to be a block because he moved his body enough to the side." Even now, it seems like he sidestepped him and they're still calling charges.
But it's also you can't play post offense anymore.
Yeah.
You can't be a big guy and call for the ball and back down. Backing down was a skill. Backing down is now like outlawed in the game because the guy's just immediately gonna pull the chair out from under you and you're gonna be called for a charge. All right, what else we got? So I want to talk about the tournament, then we'll get to yours. We're going to allow Jeff to live fill out a bracket from 2007. He's not only filling out the bracket in 2008. He's not only filling out the bracket from the start. He's not only telling me who wins the games. For each game, he's telling me the announcers and the arenas.
Locations, yeah.
Locations,
Cities, yeah.
not cities. You're not cons. You're not an arena guy. So, by the way, that one slid.
One of
in
those
there.
arenas is in one of these brackets.
Oh, the Arrowhead Pond?
Yeah.
Okay. Not that he knew it
I
was
can
called
tell
that.
Yeah.
He only knows about the Honda Center.
There's a weird fact about announcers for that arena. We'll get to that.
Do they die in there?
Old age has to do actually with one of them. Yeah.
It's got to be Dick Enberg related.
It absolutely is.
It's got to be Dick.
Yeah, it is. It's Dick Enberg related.
Well, he always
yeah.
gets those West
He
Coast
did not
games.
die in there. Yeah.
Well, he's still alive, right?
Dick
Enberg's alive.
He's alive. But there was a okay.
Is he still on the call?
No.
He's off the call.
He may do baseball. He may do baseball, but I know
trying
he
to
got
think. There's a
he
lot
got
of guys
the boot
like
in San Diego.
Marv Albert's not on the call anymore in college basketball,
No.
right? They put him on there for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Gus Johnson's out because he's at Fox now.
I don't know. These announcers were I'm out of the game now with remembering these things.
I want to say that because this is a compliment. The female announcer this week, I don't know her name. I thought she was fantastic.
She's good, and she got a couple of the more exciting games too.
Yeah, I don't know her name though. I don't remember her name.
I forget her name as well.
She was very, very good.
Mm-hmm. No, she was good.
You remember
every
announcer from 2000.
No, I don't.
2015.
I know.
but not the woman.
No, but
This
not since
one's slipping
2015.
your mind.
If she was in this, if in my range, I would have remembered it.
All right,
She's good though.
so we have a Sweet 16. In the West, you got Gonzaga, Creighton, USC, Oregon. Then you have Oregon State, Loyola, Syracuse, Houston, Villanova, Baylor, Oral Roberts, Arkansas, FSU, Michigan, UCLA, Bama. The most chalky region left is got to be that 1-4, and then the 11-2 over there, Michigan, Alabama, FSU. That's the chalkiest region. I think it's coming down to Michigan, Bama. It's going to be 1-2. That's going to be our only 1-2 that's possible left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I think that one's – but here's a bet on the Barstool Sportsbook. I'm going to give you this. And I read it from Mark and Philly this morning, but I'm going to pass it along. Syracuse is on the Barstool Sportsbook plus 400 to make the Final Four. To make the Final Four, not to win it. They're plus 400. That means they got to beat Houston. Houston can't score.
Not at all.
Houston's very
and
good.
should not have won that game.
Houston's very good defensively. They should have lost to Rutgers, and they're going to be going up against that zone, and then they'd have to beat Oregon State or Loyola. Now, I think Loyola's got a very good chance to go to the Final Four, but if I'm looking at it, I got Syracuse plus 400, and they got to beat Houston and Oregon State, Loyola, that's worth $100 right there.
Just don't bet on them to win it all because Boeheim won't do that.
No, you can't bet on them to win it all. Absolutely not. Because I don't think, at the end of the day, I think everybody's playing for second in this bracket, in this tournament.
Though, I really want to say Alabama's right up there with Gonzaga.
I don't think so.
But I will say, though, they have to be on, I think.
Bama has to be on. Gonzaga's never off.
No, yeah.
Gonzaga is never off.
Do you think there's any value left in Gonzaga plus 160?
I think so, yeah. Because they're going to win. I think there's the value. They're going to win. Every possession Gonzaga has looks like it's on purpose. There's never any shot clock's winding down, they take a bad three. There's never any forced anything. Every possession looks like they know exactly what they're doing. Why is this American flag thing here?
It says like Viva at the bottom.
I mean, God bless America. I'm a big America guy, but why did we just come up with this wooden thing to put in the middle of the studio? And we're leaning it up against a bucket. we have this. They put all this work into the studio.
like
we got the TVs. We have a.
It's a bucket you put like Nerf balls in your garage.
It looks like something you'd buy at Hobby Lobby, and we've got it leaning up against a ball bucket.
Someone very nice obviously made this and sent it to the company.
That's a very good looking sign, but why? There's no explanation for why it's at our feet.
We gotta hide the cables for your mic somehow, right?
Oh, look at that! I like this.
Oh,
I like
hell yeah.
America, baby.
And I'm proud
To be an American. Can't sing. We're at least
Artist?
I know. Lee Greenwood.
Yeah.
You
Come
think
on,
Brandon fucking
Jeff.
Walker doesn't know Lee Greenwood?
That's what we do. We do
You
trivia.
know how many times I've stood at the Go Forth celebration in Columbus, Mississippi, crying because of Lee Greenwood watching fireworks, hoping I get out of there without getting raped
You two just quiz each other when you hang out?
all the time.
We do. I will say, actually, we do throw, like,
I text him trivia often. I
Yeah.
texted him Major League trivia the other day. He didn't
You and
know
Big
it.
I
T
was in
do
the
that
middle of
too.
recording.
But you still didn't know it. You didn't get it.
No, I didn't get it. You're right. I
Who's
did
the
not
starting
get
pitcher for the Yankees in the division title game in
it.
Major
Did not
League?
get it.
Steve Jackson.
Did not
20
get
game
it,
winner
yeah.
Steve Jackson.
Big T, you just hear Big T, like, in random points of the day, be like, all right, everybody. He doesn't sound like that whatsoever. By the way, that's an awful Big T, but it'd be like last 12 college football teams with dog in their name to make the BCS game. It'd be, he always has lists.
Your Southern is terrible.
Well, I'm trying to do a Big T, which is not like
Big
Southern.
T doesn't
It's
have
like,
he has an accent, but he doesn't have like a voice. He's just
No, yeah.
he's like a Southern robot.
I can do like a Southern, but I'm not. That's not Big T.
What's your Southern like?
I don't know. Actually, when I'm drunk, I get a Texas drawl.
No, I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. I proudly stand up next to you. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Big Ten is dead. Pac-12 lives. Everybody's playing for second. What are my notes here? No buzzer beaters yet, but a shit ton of upsets.
That sucks.
And I saw on
blows.
Twitter yesterday. Yesterday was a boring day. Yesterday was the most.
There's
boring
always
day.
one of those. There's always one.
Such a tease. We had first game of the tournament was Florida Vautech, right? And we had the buzzer beater to send it into
That's
OT,
right,
and I
yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
March is back.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
And then you had
5 of these every
Santa
day.
Barbara should have won on a buzzer beater. Probably he didn't go up strong enough. Their center.
You had the missed that 2-foot layup like Patrick Ewing.
Abilene was not really a buzzer. It was free throws.
Free throws with 1 second left, but that was nuts, man. That was stones. That guy walked to the free throw line against Texas and just hammered 2
One of
free
the
throws.
worst free throw motions I've ever seen.
And he's
too.
a 52% shooter and just didn't care. That was pleasant, right?
Yep.
So
Random fact: Mitch Ballack on Creighton.
here's why people are stupid.
Well, let him get a random fact out.
All right, go ahead. I'd like to hear your
Just
random fact about.
blatantly in the middle.
What's
of a
your random fact
sentence.
about Creighton? They're the only Blue Jays.
No,
They
Mitch
are.
Ballack shoots 46% from 3 and 47% from free throw.
That is
That's insanity.
bizarre. Yeah.
But
It's a
that's
staggering number.
so if he shoots that, but if he shoots a lot of threes, so he either doesn't shoot a lot of threes or he doesn't shoot any free throws whatsoever. He's like,
No, he shoots a lot of
Both?
threes, not a lot of free throws.
Okay.
Because last year he was like 83%.
We are
free
set up
throws.
for a Creighton Oregon possible Elite Eight if Creighton upsets Gonzaga, right?
yes,
Yeah.
That's Dana Altman.
yeah. Mhm.
That'd be the storyline nobody gives a shit
I
about.
love that
That is the
Oregon's.
storyline.
I love that in the Sweet 16 we just got Oregon USC.
Yeah.
Just a nice Pac-12 battle because the Pac-12 has proven itself so strong. This is why people are stupid. Luke Conthor, which is a stupid name, says Gonzaga is ridiculous this year. Fine, and Brandon can take that anti-America talk to China.
What was the anti-mayor? It was.
I
Just,
sang
it was a
Lee
question.
Greenwood.
Yeah.
I just said, first of all, we got the flag on the floor.
Yeah, that actually is probably
Ooh.
disrespectful.
I think our setup here is questionable. We just have it sitting in the floor, leaned up against a box.
It's at half mass for Marty's bankroll.
Ryan Eddy says Q's plus 400 is one of the worst bets I've ever heard. Go suck your own dick and die.
Why is that? Why is that a bad?
It's
bet?
not a bad bet at all. It's a
They're-
futures bet.
I think if I test easily the second best team left in that region, and that's only because Loyola is probably one of the better teams left in the tournament.
Houston was bad against Rutgers.
Yeah.
Houston was bad, and like there's these top 1 and 2 seeds outside of Gonzaga and Baylor. Nobody's proven to really have earned these seeds. These seeds don't really mean anything this year. They're meaningless. So take the 2 seed from Houston and throw it out the window. Syracuse and Houston are at least equal right now.
Yeah.
Syracuse beat West Virginia.
Mhm.
West Virginia's a good basketball team.
Stomped San Diego State.
All right. Now, what time are we at? Let me read one ad.
12:23.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I don't know why I have to read it because I had it all week. Yesterday morning, this is real. Body Armor Edge. Yesterday morning, I was done. I was dragging. I did not want to get out of bed, but I had to get up and do Pick Central at 10 a.m. in Chicago. Not that getting up at 10 a.m. is a big deal, but I had to get up and do it. But I got to the place when we were about to get to Pick Central, and I was dragging. My head was, and I don't drink coffee. We had some Body Armor Edges there. I grabbed a tropical. What's the flavors there? I grabbed a Tropical Chaos.
Ooh.
It was delicious. 100 milligrams of caffeine, 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes. It gets you started, and the rest of my day was perfect. It got me going. It got me through the show. It was great. Body Armor Edge. Well, you see us always drinking the Body Armor water, which Jeff's got 2
The
of
orange
in
one
front
is
of him.
delicious. It has a crisp orange taste.
So we've had their water, but they've got these new drinks. Body Armor Edge. It's got the 100 milligrams of caffeine. It gets you going like coffee. It's also got the electrolytes. It is absolutely delicious. They got Tropical Chaos, Berry Blitz, Power Punch, Orange Frenzy. It is fantastic. That's Body Armor Edge. You can get it at 7-Eleven or order it on Amazon today. Body Armor Edge.
Just
All right.
tastes like a body armor, and then you get a cup of
Yeah.
coffee with it.
Brandon's hairline is slowly moving towards his eyebrows. Well, that's good.
That's a great thing.
That's fantastic.
That's
Plus,
good news.
That's awesome.
My problem is I don't have eyebrows. They're very blonde.
Yeah, you have eyebrows.
Well, I have
but
many
you can't
problems.
see
I have
them.
3 necks. I have 4 chins. So
You don't have a George Lucas neck, though. At least you don't have that.
Doesn't he have a beard trying to cover that thing up?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
actually, it
his-
goes beard straight to neck, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a gullet.
Yeah, he does.
Like the Virginia Tech mascot,
Mm-hmm.
like Frank Beamer.
Uh,
What? Not that big.
Frank Beamer, like,
Is he dead?
no.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
I'm discovering a lot of people are still alive today. Dick Enberg, very much alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Dick Enberg's alive.
John Glenn's dead.
John Glenn is dead.
Neil Armstrong died. Buzz Aldrin's still here.
Yeah. Buzz Aldrin was in one of the Transformers movies.
Chuck Yeager just died.
Okay. Chuck Lorre's still alive, making shows for CBS.
Oh, I got him confused with the Looney Tunes guy.
yeah.
Chuck, what's his name? Chuck some-
D.
Who?
No.
No. All right, 2007. You got
Oh,
it. You got
here
it
we
up
go.
on your computer over here.
Oh yeah.
I do.
So Jeff has many talents. None of them are really bankable
Very
or
few are useful.
monetizable. You can't really do anything with any of them outside of his tremendous work ethic and the Great Dozen Trivia Show. But here is one of his talents. For some reason, he remembers NCAA
I used to make
brackets.
highlight videos of the tournament.
But you remember NCAA brackets from years gone by.
Yeah.
And not just who won the game.
Mhm.
You remember where the game was.
Yep.
You remember who was calling the game.
Yes. And I sometimes remember what I was doing and where I was.
So we have got a blank 2000 set. Dick Enberg is not dead. Stop that. These commenters, man, they'll kill everybody.
I'm like pretty sure he's not, but
I don't think he's dead.
no, I don't think he is.
Enberg is not-
Oh my! That was his like catchphrase.
Dick Enberg. Is
Dick Enberg is dead.
No,
Fuck.
no way.
He
been
died
dead for a
4
while.
years ago.
No fucking way.
He died 4 years
No
ago.
way.
You know what I confused him with?
Oh,
I was
no.
confusing him with Vin Scully. They're not the
No,
same
Vince
at
Scully's
all. Vin Scully's
Oh,
not dead.
God,
Dick
what?
Enberg's dead. Breaking news.
He
Pick
died in
Central.
La Jolla, California.
La Jolla. Or La Jolla. La Jolla, actually. La Jolla. La Jolla. What are you doing?
That's sad. Rest in peace to Dick Enberg.
Do you have extras
classic
here?
announcer. I have one for you, one for me.
Okay.
Though you can't steal my thunder, obviously.
Why would I steal your thunder?
I don't know. You like to answer over people.
On the trivia show,
Okay, that's fair.
this is your.
Which you justify because you are very good.
Hey,
at trivia.
actually, I can't. I don't know how to host. Watch your tone around here, all right? I will
Okay.
mute you.
Okay.
He's only
I
got
would-
6,000 followers on Twitter. You think that's down a lot?
Who?
Dick Enberg?
Yeah.
I'm not going to clown Dick Enberg.
I'm
He's
shocked
very-
he's- I'm
We've
shocked he
just
has
talked
Twitter.
about this before, whether or not you want.
I was a little worried that we were wrong about him not being dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
I think Dick Enberg was one of those guys that I thought was more famous than he really was.
Absolutely.
Like 80s, 90s, he was like NBC's lead announcer on football, and I thought he was like a like what Jim Nance is today, but he never got to that level.
Nance is like meteoric.
Nance, Buck,
Also awful at signature calls in college basketball, which we will go over as I felt this bracket.
Jim Nance.
Yeah.
He's
Some
terrible.
of the worst of all
The
time.
Villanova was awful. It got. I
His-
thought CBS botched that Villanova ending more than they've ever botched anything.
He blew the Butler Gonzaga Butler Duke thing so bad because I think he only wrote a call down for Butler because he's like, oh, it almost went in, and then he like stumbled and went, Duke, King of the Dance,
Yeah.
2010. It's like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
that?
he
King
is.
of the Dance.
He is not. But you know what?
Duke.
You know what's weird though? Like Jim Nance is everywhere, and he's meteoric, like I said. So is Joe Buck, but Joe Buck struggles in the big moments too.
He's had some good ones though.
He's had some, but he's also had some terrible
He had a
ones.
stretch where the Tyree Super Bowl was one of the worst called big games I've ever heard. But he eventually like
Vince
I think
Scully
he's
just
much
died
better
too,
now.
didn't he?
no way.
Yeah, Vince Scully did just die. He just
What?
died. He didn't
Where
die
did I
long ago.
miss this?
That was yeah.
He died. He died during quarantine. He didn't die of COVID, but I think he died in the last year. Didn't he?
Yeah.
No, I feel like that would have been
Vin Scully.
Vince Scully's
no.
dead, right?
no.
No.
Vince
All
Scully's
right,
definitely
chat.
alive. Yeah,
These
Vince Scully's
assholes.
definitely alive.
They're
That
killing
one I
Vince
don't
Scully.
remember.
You guys are killing Vince Scully.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
All right.
Connor Patterson. Why did I read Connor Patterson? He's the biggest cunt here. All right. I can say that. I asked Dave if I could say it.
27.
I can say that,
2007 bracket.
and I got permission to say midget.
Is it Nance
only
who carries a picture of how he likes his toast?
only when I'm talking about White Sox Dave.
Isn't that Jim Nance?
He gives his tie to kids when they
Jim
win
Nan-
after
who
the
wants,
tournament.
Who wants
Jim
Jim
Na-
Nance's tie?
You knew that? You don't know that?
Oh,
He gives his tie to the most
He
outstanding
carries a
player every
picture of how
Final
he
Four.
likes his toast.
That I didn't know, but I know he gives his tie away.
I'm almost positive.
Like
Jim Nance gives his tie to the most outstanding player of the Final Four. They
yeah,
get
which
a-
I think was Ryan Arcidiacono for
Yeah.
Villanova, and I remember like that's when the story went kind of viral again. They're like, it's like, all right, here we are, Ryan Arcidiacono, congratulations, here's my tie. And it's
you do so many things well.
I
You
can't
do
pronounce
not
his name
pronounce Archie Diacono very well.
Ryan Arcidiacono, yeah, I
Yes.
can't pronounce it well.
And I'm going to tell myself, yeah, for about 2 years, I thought his name was Archie Diacono.
Jim Nance.
I thought his first name was Archie.
Yeah.
March 29th, 2016. I'm a breakfast guy. 3 eggs, scrambled, with bacon and wheat toast, burnt. The problem is, it never comes back burnt. For years, it would arrive limp and tan, which brought breakfast to a standstill when I sent toast back. It was costing me 10 minutes a day, which multiplied by 6 days a week is 4 hours a month. That's 48 hours, 2 full days per year. My friends, time is currency. He goes on to explain, he carries a picture of burnt toast in his wallet.
Being friends with him seems like a chore.
I love burning cheese toast.
Yeah.
I love the cheese to be almost completely
Caramelized,
browned
yeah.
over.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
I love I that's one of my late night snacks. 4 pieces of cheese toast burnt.
Okay.
Just almost all brown. I love burnt food, period. Burnt french fries, burnt potato chips. They're the best. Anyway, we're off on a tangent. So we've got the 2007 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship. How do you want me to do this? Do you want me to just say the first round matchup and you'll fill it in for me?
Yeah, and it's in front of me too. Yeah.
All right. So the Midwest.
Midwest region. This was played in St. Louis. Oh, and you have it up too, the Wikipedia.
The Midwest. You mean the Elite Eight,
The
the Final
region
Four, or
was
the
in
Elite
s-
Eight and Sweet 16?
Yeah, it was in St. Louis.
All right. So the first game, the 1 seed was Florida against Jackson State.
Florida beat Jackson State. The 8-9. Purdue did beat Arizona, I believe.
Correct.
In a very close game.
Yes, and that was in New Orleans, and those games were called by Vern Lundquist and Bill Raftery.
So I was at those games. I went to that pod. There's another 2 games coming up from that pod, and you are absolutely right.
Okay.
The 5 was Butler. The 12 was Old Dominion. Go.
Butler beat Old Dominion. Maryland beat Davidson. That was the Steph Curry game. Steph Curry, that was kind of his coming out party. They were not as good that year, so Maryland and Butler both won. That was in Buffalo, and Kevin Harlan called those games.
He's correct.
All right. 6-11 was Notre Dame Winthrop.
One of my favorite mid-major. Every year I pick a mid-major team. They're like my team. Winthrop was my team that year. This team was fucking electric. They beat Notre Dame. They should have beat Tennessee the year before. Crooked game. Chris Lofton traveled, hit it at the buzzer in Greensboro. I just talked to Big T about this. They were a 15 seed. Winthrop loaded. Terrell Martin, Chris Gaynor, Taj McCullough, Craig Bradshaw. Ian Eagle called these games. They were in Spokane. He threw out that's a man's jam. For
I
Taj
remember
McCullough.
that. I've seen
Taj
that.
McCullough, that's a man's jam. He's done that before. That team won him. That was Greg Marshall. Greg Marshall before he coached Wichita State. That team was that Winthrop team was so fucking good.
So
And
they
then
were
Oregon beat Miami, Ohio. Miami, Ohio hit an end of a game half court shot, which is kind of cool. Miami, Ohio made the tournament that year at the buzzer.
First of all, there's a bunch of people saying, "What is cheese toast?" It's toast with cheese melted on it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What are we doing? Okay, Julia, and quit spamming the chat. I'll have to quit spamming. It's just always one piece of shit person that
Why do you
spams
read
the
the
chat.
chat?
Yeah, let's keep going.
I got
let's
hired at
ignore
this
it.
company by reading the chat.
Yeah,
That's how
that's true.
I love reading the chat. I love using the chat as conversation starters. I will never not use it. But pieces of shit like this ruin it for everybody. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm proud.
Oregon beat Miami. We had an Oregon related question on the dozen last week. That was the what's his face? Twan Porter.
UNLV against Georgia Tech, 17.
UNLV beat Georgia Tech. Wisconsin beat Texas A&M Corpus Christi. A&M Corpus Christi, this was in Chicago. Jim Nance was the announcer. A&M Corpus Christi had a lead in that game. I think Big Cat was at the game. We talked about this recently. That was the Yolando Tucker Wisconsin team, and they beat A&M Corpus Christi. Wisconsin won the Big Ten tournament, I think that year, while I was on a bus from Corpus Christi. So look, it all ties together.
All right, the West. Kansas was the number 1 seed.
Let me finish the Midwest region.
Oh, you're going all the way through. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So then Florida
Purdue.
Florida beat Purdue. Butler beat Maryland. Oregon's destroyed Winthrop. It was very heartbreaking for me. UNLV beat Wisconsin. Jim Nance had an awful call, so the running Rebs are running on to the Sweet 16. Super lame. He's really bad at that. Florida went to the Elite Eight where they beat Oregon and then went to the Final Four.
That is correct. All right, the West, the number 1 seed was Kansas.
Kansas obviously won. Kentucky then won. That was also in Chicago. Would have been Jim Nance. Okay.
Vatek, Illinois.
Virginia Tech beat Illinois, and then Southern Illinois beat Holy Cross. That was
Southern
played-
Illinois was a force.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were a
Salukis,
four
very
seed?
good. Yeah, they beat.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they were very good. They beat. That was in Columbus. Tim Brando and Mike Jaminski were on the call.
Mike Jaminski,
Yeah.
former Nick? No, Cav. He was a Cav, wasn't he? It was a 7-footer. Mike Jaminski was.
Mike Jaminski.
All right.
Next one would have been Duke VCU and Pittsburgh Wright State. Those games were played in Buffalo, announced by Kevin Harlan. That was the Eric Maynor game. Eric Maynor is just a dagger.
Is this the dagger, and it hits from top of the key,
Yeah.
which is inside the top of the key. Yep.
Yep, beat Duke.
Are you sure? That was Kevin Harlan. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Mhm. So the next one, Indiana beat Gonzaga, UCLA beat Weber State. That was in Sacramento at the Kings Court. James Brown called these games.
James Brown.
The CBS
Yeah, he's
NFL
dead.
today. Yes, that James
He
Brown.
is dead.
But this James Brown
He's
is alive.
also dead.
No,
He's
not.
dead.
Okay,
I'm almost certain he's dead.
He's the CBS in that. They booted Craig Bolerjack, and I think
As you do. Why would you want Bowler Jack on
I
these
think
teams?
James Brown complained, and they let him call play-by-play. He was awful.
James Brown was always a studio guy, right?
Yeah.
Let's go back to James Brown in the New York studios.
The West region, I believe, was this San Jose? I might have gotten that one wrong. Was it San Jose?
For what?
2007.
The Elite
West?
8 and Sweet 16.
Pull up the West bracket.
I am, but now I gotta go to a different.
Anyway,
That's why you're the best, Owen.
I'll finish it off here. Kentucky, Kansas beat Kentucky. Southern Illinois beat Virginia Tech. Pitt beat VCU. UCLA beat Indiana. UCLA went on to the Sweet 16 where they beat Pitt. Kansas beat Southern Illinois, and then Kansas lost to UCLA because UCLA made the Final Four again that year.
With a rematch against Florida from the national title game.
This is where UCLA just continued to lose Final Fours.
3 straight Final Fours.
Yeah.
It was in San Jose.
What happened to the TV? We're good, though? Okay.
East Regional. I'm going to rip through these quicker.
North Carolina, number 1 seed.
UNC beat Eastern Kentucky. Michigan State beat Marquette.
Where was that?
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
I want to say that, that was Winston-Salem.
Correct.
Okay, Winston-Salem, which I believe that means Dick Enberg would have been on the call for those.
Why does that mean Dick Enberg would have been on the call?
Because I remember his voice in my head with those games.
Is that right? Do you know? Are you on the internet? Are you on Craigslist right now?
No, I'm on it.
Craigslist
There's
still
a different
thing?
tab for every question that you're asking.
Yeah, hit a Control F. Enberg,
Hit a Control
probably.
F, man.
But I'll keep going through it. The East Regional, this was in East Rutherford. The East Regional this year. Texas, then the 5-12, 4-13. USC beat Arkansas. Texas
Enberg
beat,
was not on the call.
Oh,
who was
my
Winston-Salem?
gosh.
I'm kidding. It
You
was Enberg.
motherfucker. Texas beat New Mexico State. That was the Kevin Durant team. Rick Barnes is a fraud. And then they lost to USC in the second round. Vanderbilt beat George Washington. Washington State beat Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts had these two guys who call them like the Two Towers. They were a sexy 14-3. They did not win. Vanderbilt then beat Washington State in the second round to make the Sweet 16. Those games were in Sacramento. That would also be called by James Brown. And then Boston College beat Texas Tech 7-10, and then Georgetown beat Belmont 2-15. That would have been Winston-Salem, correct?
TJ, I have a question. How much control do we have over our YouTube experience? Can we block a spammer?
I cannot.
Shit.
Block someone from the chat on YouTube.
We need to. Julia N is a bot that's just.
Everybody report this person in the chat,
please, because I can't. We can't do this. I can't talk to you guys if they're going to do this.
May I keep going?
Yes.
Okay, so the East Rutherford Regional, the Sweet 16 was UNC, USC. UNC beat USC. Remember Tim Floyd?
Wait.
Yeah, Iowa State.
What?
Isn't it UNC Michigan State?
Uh-oh.
They beat Michigan State, and then they played USC in the Sweet 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You skipped
they beat them. Tim Floyd had a late game technical foul, which sealed the deal.
I remember that, and he shook hands
Fucking
with
asshole.
He shook hands with Tom Izzo.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, Tim Floyd. Was this Marcus Pfizer and Jamal Tinsley?
It was USC, North Carolina. I don't exactly remember, but I just remember that Tim Floyd got a technical foul.
I think are you not confusing this?
I think you and I may be on different things, but I know Tim Floyd got a technical foul.
I think
UNC.
he did that against Michigan State in 2000. I don't think he got a technical foul in this game. He might have.
We'll have to look it up.
But I know he got a technical foul.
He's a noted asshole, so I'm sure he may have gotten multiple. UNC moved on to the Elite Eight, where they faced Georgetown, who had beat Vanderbilt. That was the Jeff Green game, where I think people thought Jeff Green traveled against Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And then Georgetown beat UNC to go to the Final Four, and that went to overtime, and UNC didn't score a fucking point until the last second of overtime.
Yeah, they got 12 in OT.
They got blitzed, yeah. And then the South Regional, I went to this regional. This was in San Antonio. Ohio State beat Central Connecticut State. Xavier beat BYU. That was in Lexington because people remember the second round game. That's Ron Lewis hit the game-tying shot against. That was when Gus Johnson became a character.
Fine. Why do you know all this?
I don't know. Just let me keep going. This is very gratifying. Right. Gus Johnson became a character that game. That's when he said, he's like, Lewis has been awesome. Then he word vomited.
Is that when he just yelled?
Yeah.
Ah!
And then he goes, he's like, we're headed to overtime in Lexington. And he said, March Madness, CBS Sports. This is, and it was like, all right, chill, relax.
Right.
Now you're being an asshole.
What's the shot where he says at the buzzer and he just yells? He doesn't talk. He just
Adam Morrison, he did that when they played in Seattle. I think they beat Oklahoma State. That wasn't in the tournament though. So that was Lexington. Tennessee beat Long Beach State. I think they scored 120 points against Long Beach
121 to 86.
Yeah, a blitzing in regulation. Virginia beat Albany. Albany was a sexy 13-4 pick, but because they'd almost beat UConn as a 16 the year before, they got killed, I think. So Tennessee, Virginia advanced. I was in Columbus. That'd be Tim Brando. Louisville, Stanford, A&M, Penn. That was all in Lexington. No upsets there. There was only 2 first-round upsets this year. And then Nevada, Creighton, and then Memphis, North Texas. They played also. You saw that then. You saw that in New Orleans.
Yes. I saw Memphis, North Texas.
Yep.
Saw Nevada, Creighton.
Memphis played Texas A&M in the Sweet 16. That was AC Law. I think that was like almost a buzzer beater, that game. And then Ohio State came back against Tennessee, a massive comeback. That was a good Tennessee team. Wayne Chisholm, the guy who wore the headband on like the tip of the back of his head.
Yep.
They had, I think, Jawan Smith and Ramar Smith.
Yep.
Dane Bradshaw. Chris Lofton. I don't like Chris Lofton. He's my least favorite.
Can I ask you a question?
And then Ohio State made the Final Four. They beat Memphis.
Do you need me to like brush up on my Photoshop skills so I can host a dozen and let you play?
I only do this with college basketball. I sat by my dad's an Ohio State grad, so I went to the Ohio State game with him. Memphis. I don't like Memphis fans. They were very mean to me.
No, Memphis fans are complete assholes.
Yeah,
they have a inferiority complex.
We sat next to Tennessee fans who had lost the day or 2 days before, and they were like, "We're rooting for the Buckeyes." And my dad's like, "Why?" He goes, "I fucking hate these people."
There's
nothing,
nothing,
Memphis fans. Yeah.
There is nothing more depressing in college sports. I did it in 2003 in Birmingham. Nothing more depressing than being a fan of a higher seed team and buying tickets for the weekend, and then on Friday night your team has lost, and you wanted to come back Sunday. You had hotels. So I just come back. So I just we got beat by Butler, the 12. We were the 5. We got beat by Butler. I just handed my tickets to the nearest Butler fan and said, have fun.
Yeah, that was my dad's like, do you still want to, like, he's like, I want to go if Ohio State loses, because they were losing to Tennessee and they should have lost. Tennessee blew a massive lead and we still, but then Ohio State won. That was Odin and Connolly. And then Ohio State beat Georgetown and then they didn't get it. Was not a good game against Florida, though.
You know what?
Never a good
you know what I
game.
remember about the national championship game, Florida against Ohio State? Maybe the worst called game by Billy Packer ever.
Oh, this was one of Billy Packer's last tournaments.
Yeah, because he was so wretched, so terrible.
It was always wretched.
He decided in the beginning of the game that Mike Conley could get the ball stolen because he dribbled so low, and he talked about Mike Conley dribbling and not being able to get the ball stolen all. Now, I'm saying he probably talked about a 40-minute game. He probably talked about Mike Conley's dribbling skills and not getting the ball stolen. 38 minutes out of the 40. It was ridiculous. This is probably what ended his career. That's how bad he was.
Fucking Billy Packer. All right, let me rip through 2008, and then I'm gonna shut up.
Christ.
I'm gonna fly through.
We don't have
one.
this much time.
I'm gonna fly through this
Because
I know 08 better than 07's a cheat.
2008.
UNC Mount St. Mary's.
Oh, I'm just gonna look at the bracket.
2008 is the famous year where there were all 4 number 1 seeds.
Correct.
Correct.
UNC won their first game. They would play Arkansas in the next round. Notre Dame beat George Mason.
Wait. Can I just say the quality of this printed bracket is god awful.
Yeah, this one sucks. Yeah, this one's
Go
pretty
quickly.
bad. Okay, okay, that was played in Raleigh. Jim
Well,
Nance.
we have other stuff to talk about.
I'm doing it. You interrupted me.
all right.
Jim Nance was
I
on
will
the call.
mute you.
Notre Dame beat George Mason. Washington beat Winthrop. That Winthrop team was not quite as good. Oklahoma State beat St. Joe's. Louisville beat Boise State. Butler beat South Alabama. Tennessee beat American. That would have been played
Announcers?
in Birmingham.
Okay.
Announcers were Vern Lundquist and Bill Raftery for that. American actually was up on Tennessee for a while in that game. UNC was in the Sweet 16 along with Washington State, Louisville, and Tennessee. And then UNC beat Tennessee and Charlotte to go to the Final Four. No, am I wrong?
UNC
They beat Louisville.
Louisville.
They beat Louisville. I corrected it.
Oh.
I corrected it. I'm not writing them down. That's the problem. All right, you
It's
can
okay.
go.
It's
you can go
fine. It's
half
fine.
wrong.
It's fine.
Uh,
Would you have counted that in the dozen?
I didn't say final answer. I corrected myself. I caught myself. Midwest Regional. This is played in Detroit. This is the first time they ever opened up the entire stadium to regionals. Kansas beat Portland. UNLV beat Kent State. I was at the dentist for that game. I don't know why. I just remember that. The Clemson, Villanova, Vanderbilt, Siena. All the games in Tampa that year were
So
upsets.
is this what you were doing instead of
I'm trying to rip through this.
instead of getting pussy back then?
I was, I guess. How old was I? 17? Yeah. Villanova beat Clemson. Siena beat Vanderbilt. I think Rico Bosco is friends in that Siena team. Ryan Rossiter.
Yeah.
Tampa.
That's not like Rico to name drop.
Tim Brando was on the call for that. I think Kansas games were in Omaha. Is that correct? Or was I wrong on that? Okay. USC, Kansas State, that was O.J. Mayo, Michael Beasley. Kansas State won as the 11th seed. Wisconsin beat Cal State Fullerton. Davidson beat Gonzaga. That was a Steph Curry season.
Somebody said this guy's like Rain Man on Adderall.
Yeah. This Georgetown beat UMBC. Those games were in Raleigh. Davidson beat Georgetown to go to the Sweet 16. That was in Raleigh. Amazing Georgetown. That Davidson team was so fucking good. Andrew Lovedale or something Max Pulse Gosselin. Not the John and K plus 8 guy.
Or the Saved by the Bell.
Jason Richards, the point guard for Davidson, is why that team was as good as they were. Because Curry was still there the next year, but he lost his point guard.
It just sucked because Steph Curry didn't get to take the last shot. They took the last shot away from him.
It was Richards, yeah. Then Villanova lost to Kansas in the Sweet 16, and then Kansas, in one of the most rigged ref games of all time, beat Davidson to go to the Final Four, which was complete fucking horseshit. Davidson killed Wisconsin in Sweet 16. All right, I'm going to keep flying through these. South Region, Houston played at Reliance Stadium. Memphis beat Texas Arlington. Mississippi State beat Oregon. Was that Little Rock, right?
Sure as fuck did.
It was in Little Rock,
Yep.
Arkansas. So that would have been Iron Eagle,
Then we
I
played
believe.
Duke the next round, I think.
Iron Eagle. No, you lost to Memphis for sure. In the
Oh, it was
second
Memphis.
round.
We played
Yeah.
Duke once and then Memphis once.
Michigan State beat Temple. Temple had a player named Deontay Christmas. They won the A-10 and made the tournament that year. Pittsburgh beat
I think
Oral
Memphis beat us
Roberts.
about 4, by the way. It wasn't bad.
Oh, okay. That's my
By
fault.
3.
And then Pitt, Michigan State made the Sweet 16, and they played Memphis. Marquette beat Kentucky. Very good Marquette team. Had Wesley Matthews, Lazar Hayward, Jarrell McNeil, Dominic James. I loved that Marquette team. They lost to Stanford. That game was in Anaheim. Captain Cons will know the name of that arena.
Are you okay?
No. Miami beat St. Mary's. Texas beat Austin Peay. That was in Little Rock. Texas ended up winning. Then Texas beat Stanford after Stanford beat Marquette in overtime. In Houston, and then Texas lost to Memphis. And the last one, UCLA, that's the Kevin Love, Russell Westbrook team. They won their first round game, beat Texas A&M in the second round in Anaheim, which I think they won. I think Russell Westbrook had a dunk after the buzzer. They won by 2 points. Drake lost to Western Kentucky in Tampa, announced by Tim Brando, Mike Jaminski. That
Of
was the
course,
Western Kentucky. Dustin
101,
Drake.
99 in overtime.
And then San Diego beat UConn. A.J. Price tore his ACL for UConn in that game. And then some guy named like Johnson or something hit a game-winning shot. Jake Marsh was at all those games. Anyway, Purdue beat Baylor. Xavier beat Georgia. Georgia, my least favorite college basketball team of all time that year. Georgia was a 14 seed. That's when the SEC tournament got moved to Georgia Tech because a tornado
yeah.
hit the Georgia Dome.
When Mississippi State was playing Alabama.
It's really fucked up. Yeah,
Mhm.
they had a player named Mark. They also had Sunday out of games. They had a player named Mark Bliss, my least favorite college basketball player of all time.
Why?
He just an ass. I hated him. I
Sounds
hated him.
racist.
Those games were played. He was definitely a white guy. Those games were in Washington D.C. They allowed Craig Bolerjack back in. They kicked James Brown out. And then West Virginia beat Arizona. Duke beat Belmont. West Virginia made the Sweet 16. They upset Duke as a 7 seed. Xavier beat Purdue. Xavier team was amazing. B.J. Raymond, Drew Lavender. That team was fucking awesome. Team was awesome. One of my favorite college basketball teams ever.
You know what I think?
And then Xavier made the Sweet 16 where they lost to UCLA, who beat Western Kentucky in the Sweet 16. And then we all know how that Final Four went out.
I
Mario
think you
Chalmers.
I think you hosted a college basketball trivia the other day and decided, you know what? I'm going to show these people.
Really?
Yeah. You just you were not only naming the you told me at
I
first,
used to make highlight tapes of the whole tournament.
but you told me at first you were going to name the arena or the city, the announcer, and the team, which is fine. But you almost named the starting 5 for like 20 teams.
I was college basketball obsessed before I was movie obsessed. Like that's all I cared about was college basketball. Like I loved mid-majors.
2008 Miami, they were 7 seed. Name me a starter off that team.
That I don't remember. I remember
Okay.
I remember some of the I loved mid-major or lower teams like that Xavier team was incredible. That team they scored a shitload of points. I loved Davidson. I always picked like a mid-major. Loved the Davidson team. Yeah, I don't know.
How many picks you got, Owen? Did you come here with picks?
Anyway,
came
thanks for
with
letting me do that.
4
People didn't believe
picks.
that yesterday.
No. Hi, Casey. Okay. That
What
was
the fuck?
not necessary at all. Owen, you got picks?
Yeah, I
Good.
can-
I have 3. I've got Nuggets minus 7.5 against the
Before
Magic.
you do the picks, though,
Before I do the picks, though, what is he doing?
I don't know.
What is Bailey Carlin doing taking pictures outside the window?
I don't know. Why are you looking at me?
Fun little Xavier tidbit, Jeff. My favorite basketball game of all time was Xavier
Is it
Kansas
Dubois?
State 2010. double
Oh, the Jordan
overtime.
Crawford game, which
Yeah.
was a question last week. Yeah, that was those games were played in Salt Lake City.
Let me ask you boys a
Correct.
question. How's your butthole doing?
It's all right, but I'm kind of getting sick and tired of wiping with dry
Dry,
ass toilet
scratchy
paper.
toilet paper.
Me
You don't
too.
need that. What you need is you need dude wipes. You need to put a little wetness on that butthole. You need what?
Ooh.
You need to make that thing feel nice and comfortable. Dude Wipes has got you covered. They got the nice, the fresh, the wetness. They got everything that makes you feel better. Designed to give your butt a cleaner, more refreshing finish than toilet paper after dropping a deuce. Think about it. When you wash your face, hands, or body, you use water to get yourself clean. So when it comes to the dirtiest thing we do, what's that, Owen?
Shitting out of your asshole.
Why do we use dry toilet paper? No longer we use Dude Wipes. They'll change your life. Your ass will thank you. This is especially true during March Madness. You're smashing beers and bad food. Be prepared for any situation with Dude Wipes. You can find them at Amazon, Walmart, or Target nationwide, or go to dudewipes.com. Use code WALK15, WALK 15 for 15% off your entire order. I got Nuggets minus 7.5, Pelicans minus 6.5, Suns minus 1. I am beating the living holy shit out of every other gambler on this show. I am up 20 units in March. I'm up, I think.
Is anybody else positive?
No, nobody's. The next closest person is five units under.
So you have a 25
I have a
unit lead
25 unit lead with a
with
week
a
left.
week left.
It's pretty
Yes.
solid.
Yeah, it's my. And
Are
it's
you
my,
gonna maybe try and like find a way to make it more risky so it's like a
no,
little?
fuck
Yeah.
no. I'm gonna
I wouldn't want to plaque
I'm
once.
gonna ease into it. 0-1. At least 3. Whoever
Good times.
whoever was winning Kareem's plaques, it wasn't Kareem. So
That's hanging up in my living room now.
is it really?
Yeah, next to a
I love that.
Call Her Daddy podcast board, but
How'd you get that?
eBay. I have 4 plays as well. College basketball still happening. Women's round of 32 today.
Oh man.
I have Iowa, Kentucky over 158.5. Iowa women average 87 points per game and allow 81 points per game. Kentucky averages 73 and allows 67.
Okay.
Hoping for some points. Over 158.5.
I don't know. The women's tournament is notoriously it'll get into a slog.
We'll see.
Okay. All right. Paige Buchers, by the way, is
Paige
legit.
Beckers, yeah.
Mhm.
What?
Paige Beckers, yeah.
It's Buchers. Is it not?
I've heard of both.
It's almost
but
certainly
I thought it was Buchers.
I'm pretty sure it's Beckers.
It's Bueckers.
I've been saying Beckers all year.
I think you've been wrong all year.
All year long. Like all year
That
long.
doesn't make it less incorrect.
Buchers. Beckers.
Yeah.
Buchers.
I'm like 90% sure.
I like her too.
Baylor women's, I'm laying 15.5. Their average margin of victory has been 28 points this year. They're 26-2. They're facing Va-Tech. ACC women's is trash, laying 20.5 with UConn as well. Their average margin
Same
of
here.
victory has been 32 points. They're 25-1, facing Syracuse. Again,
By the way, your boosted,
ACC women's
wasn't it
is
you?
trash.
Your boosted odds in the
Spider.
sports book plus 400 for UConn to win it. It's time for them to win one. So
Well, they didn't win in the Katie Lou Samuelson era when
No,
when
you know
she
why?
played. And they
'cause Mississippi
Mississippi
State,
State.
took their heart.
They were the classic example of never having a close game, and then they got into a close game and they were not good.
We ended their program for a couple of years. Yeah. And then we didn't. We played in 2 back-to-back national title
it's
games.
about to be a Paige Buckets dynasty.
Paige Buckets.
Yeah.
That should be her name.
Paige Buchers.
Correct.
It's Buckets. Yeah, you're right.
And
I could
my
be dead
final
wrong on
play,
that,
I'm
which I don't
tailing the Mincy's bomb away.
Why?
Zion, 2+ dunks.
You see him
and
yelling in the-
Pelicans to win.
You see him yelling by the
Boosted
pool
to plus
yesterday?
What's up, fellas?
160.
I'll ride the bomb part.
He wasn't just yelling by the pool. He jumped in the pool.
Yeah. Very Kevin in Home Alone 2-esque of him.
I talked with him on the phone yesterday.
No, it
he
was-
called me. He's just like, this place is awesome. I was like,
It was
"That's
very
sick."
Ham Porter in the Sandlot.
Did you see Playboy Marty's response to that video?
What was it?
He said one of the pool attendants asked him after he jumped in if they were fighting.
Because he's yelling picks at him.
Yeah.
They-
Just screaming at him. in a
he's
public
screaming
pool.
plays, and they think
There was
they're
people in the
fighting.
background filming it. Like they must have thought something crazy was going on.
Yeah, I guess he'll be back tomorrow too. I think he's en route from Colorado, so we should have the regular Pick Central crew back. But this is I
Need to fire
enjoy
off my
talking
plays?
sports. Huh? Oh, please! I didn't know you had them.
I have to.
You have a whole sheet.
Yeah, I do. Give me Lightning puck line. Dallas stinks. They're playing better.
What's that noise? Is that you?
There you go.
Okay.
Blazers Nets over 232 or 232 and a half. I don't know what people got it at. I'm not taking the Knicks. Sorry. Shout out to the Knicks fans though. I'm happy for Knicks fans.
Why aren't you taking the Knicks?
Because I got too many plays on here because I added UConn Syracuse minus 20.5. Also no soccer. I'm really only a soccer guy. But there's no good soccer today except Northern Ireland Premier League going to take a money line parlay. Coleraine and Linfield parlay
Their
money
league
line.
is called Premier League too.
Yeah, a lot of countries do that.
Huge bounce
then
back
this is
spot
what I
for
like tonight.
Linfield today.
Big one.
Mhm.
They haven't lost. Neither have lost in like 2 weeks. But player prop tonight. Jokic 9.5 rebounds. Beal over 1.5 threes. KCP over 1.5 threes. Rocco over 1.5 threes, and then Chris Paul over 7.5 assists.
I love KCP.
Combined.
He's gonna get a lot of
KCP
looks, right?
in the bubble. KCP over 1.5 threes is always like plus 105. I think he did it every single game.
What is it today?
It's I think it's like plus 105. I don't know what it is in the book, so I don't verify that.
Okay, I'm chilled. I'm okay. I'm playing tomorrow night, right?
Also, and this is not from the Barstool Sports book, not from Penn, but I've talked to our people. If you happen to be doing things where you predict Oscars, Minari.
Minari.
Mhm.
Minari. I think Minari's going to win Best Picture.
I didn't say any of it. I just look at Minari.
Why wouldn't you just be able to say it?
I think Minari is a dark horse like Parasite was last year.
Okay. All right.
Canby offers it. We don't yet.
Thank you.
Minari. What is Minari?
It's a very cool American Dream movie. It's mostly in Korean subtitles. Stephen Yeun is in it. People recognize from things like Walking Dead. It's fantastic.
This was fun. Love you guys.
Okay, chill. We'll be back tomorrow. The Yak is up next.